Hi, I'm Adam Shiva, and in this video I'm going to talk about nonviolent communication, or NVC. And if you'd really like to learn more about it, feel free to get a book or look at a more in-depth course. What I'm going to talk about is the briefest core concepts in my understanding of it. I am by no means an expert in this subject, but I have studied it a little and think that it can be really valuable in certain areas of life. So, the core of nonviolent communication, in my understanding, is owning our own desires, feelings, needs, and stories. So when something goes away we don't want, our unconscious habit can be, you didn't do this, you need to do this, you are a jerk, and these other projective habits. Whereas we can stop that pattern and find a greater level of engagement and trust by saying, when you did this, I felt this. When you don't clean the house, I have a story that you don't care about me. When you come home late, I feel scared and concerned and ungrounded by that. And these ways of taking a process that's challenging and frustrating to us and owning our own feelings and using the you part of it just to put into context the me part of it, where I'm at with this and how this has been affecting me. And one of the core things is we're not engaging trying to change that other person or shame them or tell them that what they're doing isn't okay, but rather we're trying to make a greater habit of owning our own feelings and actually allowing the vulnerability of us expressing the things that don't sit well with us as an opportunity for someone who cares about us to naturally shift the way that they're doing things to be a thing that we can feel better with. Another core concept is about the idea of needs, and there's this needs chart in nonviolent communication. I'll put a version of it in the description below. And that needs chart is this way of looking at, oh, I was needing more connection and I was feeling, this unfulfilled feeling because I was looking for this. In polyamory, that idea of unmet needs is a way of us looking at jealousy or frustrations or these kind of big challenging emotions around polyamory with a more empowering viewpoint of maybe these are coming up because you're not getting something you need. So it also is something that, if our lives have a point of focus that is more important than us, whether it be a project or a kid, sometimes getting your needs met, you gotta kind of pare down those needs to be the absolute essentials if there's a focus in your life greater than your own, particularly as a parent. As a way to still find our core fulfillment without, having it be take up so much of our time to get just what we wanted to feel the best. And there's a way to kind of get a good enough version. So where nonviolent communication is really helpful is when we're in a fight. And I think that it's a hugely valuable resource to not make a huge mess when we're in a fight of these projective conversations where we're pushing the other person away, kind of getting into this battle stance and making a dynamic where we're just going to disconnect and project more intensely, and to break that habit and get into a dynamic where you say, hey, this is what's up for me. Oh, that's what's up for you. How can we do a better job? And even in what kind of feels like a fight, to break that down into something that is more engaging and more kind of building trust oriented. One of the limitations I see to nonviolent communication is that when someone's new to it, they often use these scripts where they're saying, I have a need for this, I would like this, and they have this sort of stuckness. In the nonviolent communication framework, that's seen as just a beginner stage and isn't really how it's supposed to be used, but some people can seem like they got it all figured out because of how firm they are in that, but it can be a limitation. There's someone in my life that has a dynamic where they'll claim that their need for autonomy and freedom causes them to need to not play games that have rules, to not be involved in a thing where there are expectations or limitations placed on them. Well, in attachment theory, that same set of guiding principles is looked at as avoidant attachment patterns. So it isn't necessarily to say that because you have the feeling that you have a need for something, that that's something you deserve to get or really should be validated in. So it's important, particularly if you have a pattern or partner that's really getting into nonviolent communication, to unpack these things, to say, well, does this pattern that their claimed need pushed down actually resonate with what I think we should be doing? I think it's a really valuable process. I think it has its limitations. And I also think that as a tool in our toolbox, it allows us kind of this opening and progression towards more fulfilling relationships and a more fulfilling life. I hope this is valuable for you. Please subscribe and share this with a friend. Thanks so much for listening to me, and I hope you have a great day.